Totally.
So the profound impacts that we see the most of are, so a really one that just makes my heart sing is snoring. My sister Sarah, this one's close to home. Her husband John, he's been snoring for years, to the point where they're in their mid 30s to late 30s and they already got a sleep divorce. So she'd either try to get to bed before him. As soon as he starts snoring, she's out of there. And I'm like, something tells me in my gut that the downstream consequences of not sharing a bed, this is not a good thing. Jasper in the bedroom on fan speed 2, lights off, so there's no ambient light at all. No snoring. Hasn't snored in a couple of years. They went to San Antonio for the weekend, didn't bring the Jasper, snored. So he's been doing some early testing with an app called Snore Lab. And on his nights where he uses the Jasper, on average, he's sleeping he's snoring 7 to 9 minutes. Without Jasper, 2.5 hours.
Wow.
We gave 150 people Jaspers last year who have been tracking their sleep with Aura for years.
Yeah.
The average person slept 25 minutes more per night with 18% more deep sleep.
Wow.
So how fast? Instantly that night, especially. The 80-20 here is you want to dial in your sleep sanctuary.
Yeah.
If you spend a third of your life sleeping and that's your healing time, and I reframed sleep to healing time. Sleep feels like a dormant term, like I'm turning off. But healing time, I'm like, ooh, when you're sick, you wake up the next day healed.
Right.
That's the state in which we heal. So how can you heal in the place that made you sick that's filled with all that crap? So when you turn your bedroom into a clean air sanctuary, if you're using fan speed 2 or 3, you also now have that gentle white noise, not from a speaker, from actual air itself, like wind in nature, being filtered. That's breathing the air that nature intended you to breathe. So people cedar fever and allergens are often gone because you're breathing those pollen and mold 24 hours a day. When you can heal for 8 of those hours a day, you build your toxin burden comes way down and you become way more resilient. You can handle mold and pollen. You can walk by a construction site where they're doing asphalt and you're fine. It's the constant beatdown when you have no time to rest and recover.
Yeah.
So sleep's going to be huge. People have any allergies, mold stuff, skin things. It's all, and I love that we're talking to your audience today because everything that you already know about food, if you have a Big Mac today, you won't die tonight. If people who aren't aware of their food, they're just going to be going about their regular life, eating crappy food, drinking soda, not even noticing a difference. Only once you start eating and drinking clean do you realize how shitty food makes you feel.
Yeah.
You tap into it. So when you tap into, the one bad thing about having a Jasper in your bedroom is you will become an air snob. So all of a sudden you're going to feel dust particulate loads and you're going to notice you already probably, and if you eat clean, you're already on this path where you're already smelling the Ubers and you can't stand them and the scents and the fresheners. So when you start sleeping with nature air, you start really becoming sensitive to these things.
All right, friends, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Radical Health Radio. We got a fresh new podcast for you every Wednesday. If you enjoyed the show, consider liking, subscribing, reviewing, and rating us on your podcast platform. It helps us spread this message of radical health. We'll see you next week.